everyone. Okay. How is everyone? Well, all four people. Hi, Mr. Black Wolf. How have you been since I last talked to you like 2 hours ago? Hi, Sam. So today was an awesome day, was it not? I mean, assuming that everyone who watches me who sees believed in Karen Reed's not guiltiness. I know I did. Um, I didn't feel that way in the beginning. Like in the very beginning, I thought, she probably hit him with the car. Just come on. But then, like, I watched one day of the first trial, and I thought, holy shit, she's not guilty. It really is a bunch of bullshit. So, yeah. Um, so I'm very happy for her. It does kind of suck that he still charged her with the driving. I don't know, what was it? IUI or OUI or whatever it is they call it. She's it's like a DWI or something. But I was kind of bummed to see that. I mean, because yes, she admitted to drinking and yes, she had been driving, but so maybe I don't know, maybe they weren't entirely wrong, but I still can't help but to think and realize, well, I mean, there wasn't, I mean, just mostly because of how much time had passed and also because of how shitty of a job the police officers did. There wasn't much of evidence really to support that, but they still charged her with it. Now, I just hope that this isn't also going to be a way that they can trip her up again, because she's looking at a year probation. And, when it comes to that, it doesn't matter if you actually did something violating or not. They can just make it look like you did. So I'm hoping that they don't drag out their hatred for her any longer. But, they say you can hope in one hand and you can shit in the other and see which one fills up first. But anyway. But so I'm very happy that things worked out there, at least. It still leaves begs the question of who or what happened to John Keith then. I mean, part of me thinks that he could have just slipped, fell, or he could have just hit his head some other non-intentional kind of way. But if they were true, then why would so many people from that house go to such extremes to run a narrative? And one thing that I never thought about before until I was watching this second trial, when I think it was Jackson. Yeah, there was Jackson when he was cross-examining Jen McCabe, when he said, there's a man, near death, at least to everyone's knowledge, laying on the front lawn of your sister's house. There's been no movement or anything. Nothing's been going on. No one came and went from your sister's house since you were there last night. Why would you not think, oh no, something might be wrong, I hope they're okay, and go and check on them? Why would you just automatically assume that, oh no, they're fine, unless you knew that they were fine? And how is that? Like, there's something you're not telling us here. So that I can't reason that, really. I think that's a very telling thing, among many others, but it's something that I never realized, and that really landed with me. I think John knew something. Yeah, I kind of think that too. I mean, so maybe with the corruption or whatever that's going on with the state police or just the Canton police, but I think it's more than just one agency, especially since ATF was involved. Brian Higgins, he wasn't involved. Well, he was there anyway. Yeah, I wonder if there's some shit he knew or they think he knew. But I'll be honest, part of me imagines, like, maybe he's a witness protection because of shit he found out, and this is just how they're playing it off. But yeah, life ain't like that. So, and sadly so. But that is a nice thought. It sucked for Karen, but it's a nice thought for Jeff. But anyway, hi Sunday Night Live. Hi Barbara. What else has been going on? Anything else? I'm gonna get to Katie in a minute, but I want to just, I don't know, go over a few other things. I've been trying to keep up with Wolf and Meg with their live streams with the people they're fighting with there on Twitter or X, whatever, because they're people who I fight with too. But I haven't kept up on it much over the past few days. But because I've been distracted. I've received some mail over the past few days. So that's funny. Oh boy. It's ironically too, like the mail came to my house because of some shit posted by one of the accounts that those two fight with online. And the thing is that I'm not even in that group chat. That's on Twitter. It's so crazy. Oh well. Then I'll have to wait for another day. Oh, there's that dude who lives near me. What's he saying? All right, this is, I want to read this. So let me share screen so you guys can just see what I'm reading. Is it sharing? Okay, there we go. All right, so it's already a hung jury or not guilty. The jury secretly decided that a month ago. Incorrect. How would you know that? What leads you to this conclusion? Do you realize that if this accusation is true, it will lead to an investigation of the jury? Okay, go investigate in my line. My cousin is on the jury, so I do know a few real facts. Okay. I mean, just wow, desperation, I swear. And the people too on Twitter that I've only really seen on Twitter, but the people who are like coming for this jury because they don't agree with their conclusion of things. And some people are suggesting like, how dare they make money and profit from telling their story? Like, what? They've been essentially having to put their lives on hold and live in lockdown, basically locked down from social media, from conversations with many friends and family members. They've had to live basically in isolation by and large for the entirety of this trial. They got paid shit money to do this. They missed out on time, things with their family, with their loved ones, with work, everything. And they had to live by like this strict set of rules or guidelines. And you think that they shouldn't get compensated for their time and trouble, especially with considering all the hate and shit that they're getting probably and about to get if they should reveal who they are? You don't think that that deserves or warrants any kind of compensation if there's some entity willing to pay it? Wow, how fucking communist of you, in my opinion. Whatever. But yeah, and it amazes me how so many people think that they can just dictate and decide how other people should be allowed to make their money. I mean, if no laws are being broken, what does it fucking matter? You know, if no laws are being broken, no one's being victimized, what does it matter? Them telling their story of their experience that only they can tell. Dude, it's not hurting anyone. If anything, it will help people, even parties involved, even, you know, should anything come about down the road. But yeah, let's go ahead. We'll gatekeep and put our fucking Karen morality over it or some shit. It kills me. Anyway, that's not sharing, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see shit that well. Today's show was very lighthearted and a lot of fun. Okay, cool. Actually, the correct fight doesn't involve us for the most part, or the current fight does not involve us for the most part. Clownville is infighting. We have our stopper. Oh, they're fighting amongst each other. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I can't see any of their Twitters. I'm blocked. I don't think it's just me that's blocked. I think they're on lockdown, actually. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yes, it's locked. That person's is locked. Or they got me blocked. I don't know. I tried looking at it though from another account, and I couldn't look at it from another account either. We're gonna try in here. But yeah, I discovered a new channel last night too. Like I really like their live stream. It's a smaller channel. Looks like it's only been around about a year or so, but they're covering drama, but not so much any drama that I talked about or whatever. They're, I think, covering that. I think it's Shanny for Christ. I think they come under Shanny. So I think that's who they're talking about. But they were pretty entertaining. I'll share their name in one moment. I want to make sure I am blocked. Or not make sure I'm black, make sure that they're on lockdown. Try another account. Yeah, I can't view them. Not on another account either. So yeah, there's that. See, everyone has their shit locked down. You know, that's so fun. Seriously. They wouldn't like it if I did that. But, like, how are you guys able to view their shit? Do you just have a really good sock? Oh, yeah, it's mostly taking place on lives and community tabs. Oh, okay. Hi, Teresa. Oh, and Katie, we're going to get into that. Okay, so I've had a video that I wanted to put out, but I just can't find the time to edit it. So I'm going to scrap that and I'm just going to do it live. But I was looking through some old files. I don't even know. I wasn't looking for some. I think I was just trying to like organize things a little better. But I came across these folders that I hadn't looked at in some time, and it just dawned on me like this is a pattern. She has established a clear-cut pattern of doing this, and it's just, I don't know. I want to just throw it together and show the examples I came across. These aren't even. I didn't even go looking for examples, and these aren't even a fraction of them. This is just what I saw right there in front of my face while looking at my download folders. You know, so. But yeah. Anyway, check. He's talking here quick. Oh, sure. I don't think. Oh, by the way, let me share this too before I forget, because I was just talking about them, and I really did like. It wasn't even just like. It was the banter back and forth. It was entertaining, and the way that they told stories and how they talked about people. Like they didn't talk about this Shanny person, whatever, like disdain or hate. It's just like it from an observation point of view. But they're also not going to lie about what they're observing either. At least that's how it came off to me, and I really. I think it starts with a P. So. Yes. Okay. Let me share this real quick. So this is the channel. I don't know. I just really they're called Antisocial at Pretty Antisocial Podcast. I'm guessing short for podcast. They're also on Twitter. Oh, there was who they were talking about. That Aaron. Okay. All right, I gotta check that video out. The history, whatever. It was the one from, I was just watching it today. I think it was last night, whatever. Right here. Yeah, Shanny for Christ. Welcome to the Shannyverse, a pretty antisocial speed run. Okay. But I had heard of Shanny for Christ before, but I didn't know all that much about her. So this was very informative. I was into this during this stream, and I haven't watched any of their other stuff yet, but I'm going to. But I enjoyed them. So just came across a cool channel that might interest y'all. Passing it along. Do what you will. There's that. But now I want to check out. I don't know anyone's YouTube channel links though. Wasn't one of them After Dark or something? Was that them? I think so. Am I following After Dark? No. Huh. Sorry, I'll find them over on Twitter. There we go. I love it. Even they have their Twitter profile locked down, but the bio is still available. I was able to find the link. Although I don't. Does her channel not exist anymore? The After Dark one? Because it says the page is not available. What am I missing here? What did I miss? Let me go back to chat here. What the fuck did I miss? Now we got ninjas. She's a federal judge. But I don't know what the extent to that. Yeah, it's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to start by talking about that. All right, so I have some shit. I have some stuff I'm gonna have to win it in a God knows when, because she's never on time. I love you, but you're never fucking on time. You know that. When you just have to run outside quick. So now it's not gone. Hopefully no one said. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna come back around to that another time. I want to get more read up on it first. So let's get to the Katie part of this shit. Let me pull up my folder. Sorry, I didn't have it ready. I planned on being all ready and prepared and shit to go by 1:30, but that never happens. You know, it's like a curse of having ADHD, I think. I experience what I call snags. Like, you can plan ahead. You can start getting ready early. You can get all sorts of prepared ahead of time and feel like you're doing good. But no matter what, something happens and snags you. It snags you off track. It snags you. It diverts your focus for like God knows how long. And the next thing you know, you're 10 minutes late. I'm always getting snagged and shit. Stupid shit too. Why is my folder thing not opening? It's so annoying. What do you mean no windows available? No available windows. I just had you open. to get it this way. All right, I got Pinwheel. I just restarted my computer too before the stream started. So fucking annoying. Well, anyway, I'll start talking about shit anyways as I'm waiting for my computer to stop being such a cunt. What I'm going to be discussing right now is, yes, and we're going to start off with how Katie Joy was coming after this federal judge and accusing him of all kinds of shit, and not even getting like the history of things accurate. Like, she flat out lied about shit that didn't happen or did, you know what I mean? So starting from that point, and she used these lies to then come to these conclusions of this federal judge, and then stated them as fact as she put them out into the public. And most of which she was accusing him of being corrupt and refusing to recuse himself of cases where he had like huge conflict of interest and shit. And she even said that several of his cases, well, I'm going to read the comment as soon as my shit fucking loads. But, and you'll see for yourself. Do we have one? Yeah, I have one. Okay. Why isn't this fucking loading? Oh my God. I have to relaunch it, I think. Okay, so it closed, but why isn't it starting now? It's open. So that's my terminal. Why was that just buffering? I promise I'll get moving shortly. If worst case scenario, I can just play some of the video that I already recorded because I have everything on there too. I just haven't edited things out yet. And I have that in, no, I don't have it in StreamYards. I did that in OBS. Shit. But I do have it in my iCloud. Oh, there we go. Now it's starting to load. So anyway, yes, so she was coming for this federal judge. And then, and the reason why she was coming for this federal judge is because this is the federal judge that has been presiding over the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni saga. And the judge had made a ruling on Blake's motion to dismiss against Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. And the judge agreed that much of it could be dismissed. The only thing, there's like 2 points that the judge said that he was going to allow to stand, but Justin Baldoni would have to refile. But they were nothing. It was like, I want to say like a contract thing or something, possibly with I don't know. It wasn't anything to do with like defamation or any shit like that or whatever. But seriously, why are my fucking files not loading? This is pissing me off now. Oh, they loaded here. Okay. It's just like my downloads don't want to file or load. My recents loaded, but not my downloads. My iCloud drive is loading, but not my fucking downloads. There they are. Okay. Where's the folder? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me pull that up. There, I got that one ready. I just have to grab a couple more files and I'm done. Which were... I don't remember what... Now I remember. There we go, right here. Okay. The admins and church. And the other one was videos on YouTube. And then there's one more I had. Oh, whatever. It'll come to me. I'll figure it out. So to start, we're going to be looking at these Instagram posts that she had made regarding this this federal judge. So she made these posts on Instagram. I came across them though on Reddit for the most part. And let me see here. So I don't have these in order. I apologize, but this was from Reddit, and she's talking about the judge. She had made a Reddit post where she was saying how she discovered all of this, this corruption, this conflict of interest. She discovered it, yada yada. So someone had wrote, they shouldn't appeal. Civil extortion was always a huge reach because what Blake did might have been extortion. Yeah, okay, but I don't care. Then Katie says they should 100% appeal. Lyman, the judge, owns stock in T-Mobile, which owns Mint Mobile, and his brother is repped by Selma Hayek's husband's company, CAA. Blake recently reunited with Selma. Her husband owns CNA, in case you didn't get that the first time she said that in the sentence directly before this one. Doug Lyman is repped by CAA, in case you missed that part too. It's impropriety. Now, remember, the reason why she's saying this, reason why she even went digging and is making these connections for people trying to paint this roadmap for everyone to accuse this judge of conspiracy and of corruption is because Katie personally did not like or agree with the federal judge's ruling. Katie thought she knew better than the federal fucking judge on the case. Okay? It's an important part to remember, I think. And this part here, I'm going to look this up again. So when I don't think I have the comment in the screenshot. So let me see. Here we go. Oh, I read that part. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, my bad. So here are the posts from her Instagram. She says, Blake Lively's May 2025 lunch date with Selma Hayek. Selma's husband owns CAA, who reps Doug Lyman, Judge Lyman's brother. And she says, Blake Lively... I just realized my microphone's all the way over here. I apologize if you guys couldn't hear me, and I apologize if I'm going to be loud. So turn your shit down if you need to. Blake Lively received a shocking win today on her motion to dismiss by Judge Louis Lyman. Judge Lyman's decision is controversial due to the fact that he dismissed claims with prejudice and refused to consider Baldoni's argument of malice against Reynolds, Sloan, and Lively. Lyman also oddly claimed that an attachment to the CRD complaint that was a draft legal complaint was, quote, privileged under litigation privilege, which defies logic. The draft complaint is not required to file with the CRD, included no causes of action or prayer for relief. Judge Lyman has a history of refusing to recuse himself from cases where conflict of interest occurred. In fact, He was found to have broken the law in multiple cases where he issued rulings that defied logic. In 2024, Judge Lyman threw out an antitrust case that was reversed on appeal due to Lyman's impropriety. The case related to Bank of America, and Lyman's wife owned stock in the company. We're going to talk about that in a second. According to financial disclosures, Lyman owns stock in T-Mobile, a company that owns Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds remains in a leadership position at Mint Mobile and continues to market the brand. Additionally, Judge Lyman's brother, Doug, has worked with Blake Lively. In 2008, he directed a commercial for Barack Obama, which included Penn Badgley and Blake Lively. Doug Lyman is also represented by CAA, a talent agency owned by Salma Hayek's husband, Francois-Henri Pinault. Despite not being seen with Salma Hayek in years, Blake Lively suddenly had a public lunch with Hayek in mid-May. Selma also gave an interview praising Blake Lively as one of her best friends at the same time. Hayek's husband is a majority owner of CAA. Doug Lyman is repped by CAA. It's not too conspiratorial to believe Blake Lively maybe was asking for favors. And here she shows, if you look at the top here, this is financial disclosure report for Judge Lyman, okay? And she says, Judge Louis Lyman owns common stock in T-Mobile, which owns Mint Mobile. A ruling against Ryan Reynolds could damage the Mint Mobile brand under T-Mobile. Ryan Reynolds' job is to ensure Mint Mobile performs under T-Mobile's purchase of Mint Mobile. Now look at this here. T-Mobile is number 148. This is a financial disclosure list, and they're number 148. There's a list, at least from judging from this, at least 151 long. I don't even think he knows what he owns stock in anymore at this point. When you have that much stock, I don't even think who keeps track of that shit. But there's a little bit more to this too. We'll get to that in a second. Let me get through this first, though. And here we have Judge Lyman owns between $15,000 and $50,000 worth of T-Mobile stock. He recently got reprimanded by the appeals court for dismissing a case against Bank of America where his wife owned stock. I love this down here at the bottom, though. She says, oh, by the way, K means 15 to 50K in stock. What is, is she trying to tell people that K means 1,000, or is she just saying, oh, that's what that means down here? Oh, okay. I got it. I missed that part. My bad. I'm an idiot. So, and as you can see here, the list now goes to 238. So 238, it was 148 from the last screenshot. And yeah, okay. I'm not sure that they even know what stock they fucking own at this point. My opinion. 5. All right, I want to go to that website though real quick. Oh, wait, here's this one. I can't. It's not gonna let me do it. So I got abusivediscretion.com. Oh, cool. It's saved in my thing. So we're gonna just read this real quick. This is the entirety. Oh, by the way, I don't think it's in this article, but I read somewhere else that Judge won his rulings subject to an appeal, or at least go to the appellate court for adjudication. Out of those 41, 38 were upheld. In other words, the appeals court thought that the judge got it absolutely right. No issue. They're upholding the judge's decision. 2 of them, the appellate court pretty much thought that the judge might have gotten a couple of things wrong, but upheld, a percentage of his ruling or whatever. Only 1 did they grant the appeal, and it's this only one. I just want to point that out. So when she says he's had a history, no, he doesn't. The record shows he does not have a history. Anyway, so this goes on to explain how this happened. They're saying that the dismissal, or that Judge Louis Lyman's dismissal of an antitrust lawsuit brought by bond investors against several large banks. The appeals court found that Lyman should have recused himself from the case because his wife owned stock in one of the defendant banks, Bank of America. Lyman, who was nominated, it doesn't matter. Right here though. However, it was later discovered that just 3 months after the dismissal, Lyman's wife sold $15,000 worth of Bank of America stock, though the stock was divested before Lyman issued his ruling. So think about that. Now, in that court case, the judge ruled in favor of Bank of America, I believe. So, but before the ruling, the wife divested her stock. And after the ruling, after he ruled in favor of Bank of America, which would seemingly have no negative impact on Bank of America, they then sold the stock. So I don't think that he was using his ownership of stock to alter his, so he could make bank on it afterwards, because he did what he should not have done if it were the case. Okay. So yeah, there's that. I just want to point that out. And it sounds like that the judge just didn't realize it, because like he wasn't asked to recuse himself beforehand. It wasn't until afterwards, long after the ruling, like months after the ruling, that it was discovered he had owned stock, and then his wife sold it like a few weeks after the ruling. So that's when it was discovered. It wasn't like he just refused to recuse himself. He likely didn't realize that there was the conflict for recusal to even have to be considered. At least that's my takeaway on things, just saying. So yeah. But don't let that stop Katie. Oh, I didn't share this, did I? Shoot. Yeah, so here you go. This is the website too. Advice, or I used that in the screenshot just a minute ago. So you see, that's where that should stay there. So, all right, I gotta get better at sharing shit. I know. So we're gonna go back to this. All right. Blake and Ryan's attorneys also represent Mint Mobile. For Ryan Reynolds, the judge owns stock in T-Mobile. The judge can protect his investment by ruling in favor of Ryan Reynolds and not damaging T-Mobile, Mint Mobile, or not damaging T-Mobile. Mint Mobile's success is 100% dependent on Ryan Reynolds' public image. And this is from YouTube. Someone commented, "Yep, that's a bribed judge for sure." And she wrote, "Yep." Wow. And then here we have Blake Lively already caught lying. Blake Lively falsely claims that her case was dismissed due to the lawsuit being retaliatory and because 19 nonprofits filed amicus briefs in support of her. Judge Lyman did not rule the lawsuit frivolous, denied attorney's fees, and provided leave to amend. The judge also wrote that he did not consider any of the amicus briefs, nor did he use California's anti-SLAPP 47.1 to make a decision. He literally wrote the decision has nothing to do with 47.1. The amicus briefs did nothing to help the case. Blake is intentionally misleading the media that she was found to have privilege to make claims of sexual harassment under the 47.1 law. This is not true. Blake is not speaking for women. She's suing for her own ego and money. If she were to win, $0 benefit anyone but her. Well, no shit. It's her damage that she's suing. She's suing because of damage that she feels that she had received. Right or wrong, believe it or not, guilty, whatever. That's why she's suing. Why would anyone else benefit from this? I mean, she can try to turn a negative into a positive or whatever, but she's not obligated to. No, it kills me. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back. I just have to run something outside, and I'll be right in. And I'm going to go through a little walk down memory lane and a few things. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to play some music though while I'm gone. And okay, there we go.
Every time you close your eyes, dream of me. I wanna be
All right, wait a minute. I want to put a banner up first so people know I'll be right back. Right, edit. Okay. Be right back. Okay. Now I'm going to be right back.
Every time you close your eyes, dream of me. I wanna be a fantasy. Imagine the water falling all on me. I wanna be in your wet dreams, in your wet dreams. Close your eyes, dream of me. I wanna be a fantasy. Imagine the water falling all on me. I wanna be in your wet dreams, in your wet dreams. Be in your wet dreams. I wanna be in your wet dreams. In your wet dreams. I wanna. Close your eyes, dream of me. I wanna be a fantasy. Imagine the water falling all on me. I wanna be in your wet dreams, in your wet dreams. Be in your wet dreams. I wanna be in your wet dreams. In your wet dreams. I wanna.
Shit. Damn it. All right, I'm back. And there we go. All right. Let me turn the banner off. All right, there, back. Okay, so as I was saying, when Katie doesn't get her way, or she feels slighted or whatever, she makes it personal. She talks all the time about how this is a job. This is her job. She's just doing her job. But it's not her job when she makes her all the time. She makes herself to be the one being slighted. When she's not just reporting, she's trying to enact vengeance. It's not a job anymore. It's not. So when she feels slighted, when she feels as though she's been wronged in some way, or just something angers her, she feels like something is just wrong. Well, then she's gonna make sure that, you know, they go down, or they suffer, they feel the consequences, whatever. And that's what was happening here with the judge. She felt that the judge got it wrong. She felt that the judge couldn't have just simply known more about the law than Katie and ruled accordingly. No, it's got to be because the judge is bad. There's something wrong with him, and she's going to expose it, and she's going to bring him down as a result. Although I do think that something happened, because she since shut the fuck up, and I believe she removed most, or if not all of the shit. But anyway, she's done this before. And we're going to go over a few of them. I had another one though. All right. So we're going to take a little trip here down memory lane. Okay. We're going to start with Letitia McRae. Or not Letitia McRae. But yeah. Letitia Bias. Why did I say McRae? Oh my God. Okay. But Vaughn McRae. Now, as everyone can recall, probably, when she first came onto that story, she was all about coming for Dre. She was all about justice for Vaughn and helping Letitia, you know, to see her son before he died and everything. She was all for it. All for it. But suddenly, like just a couple of weeks into it, she flipped sides. And it's not just that it's not like she saw the light. No, something happened because she didn't just simply no longer support Letitia and Vaughn's family. No, she had to take them down. She had to come for them because something personal happened. Something slighted her. She didn't get the cooperation and the appraise that she felt she deserved. And the people pay for that, you know? So we're going to read some screenshots here of some conversations. Now, I did a video of this where I actually do a reading of these. It's been some time ago though, and I'll put a link up. Yeah, there's a few links I'm gonna have to add, I think, to this. Okay, so, but I'm gonna just go ahead and read them for now. So this conversation, and this is before she flipped sides. This is when she was still very much in support of Letitia and Marvan's family. This is a conversation between her and one of the Justice for Vaughn group admins. I believe her name was Tony. Tony's in purple, Kay's in gray. And we're just going to read the whole conversation. And you're going to see how this happened. You're going to see her make the switch. And then you're going to see her at the end come out with the narrative that she wanted to basically create and frame the other side with. So I don't know. She says, sorry about the idiots. I believe she's referring to people who probably messaged the, I don't know, group members or posted in the group about warnings, you know, about dealing with Katie. Was they quickly learned that the warnings were correct. Tony says, we're used to it. Katie says, they like to say I'm not credible or jump bandwagons, but report. If there is a story, we report. Like, that's how that reads to me. It's crazy. Tony says, it's not only you. They go after Molly, too, and anyone else that offers help. Well, they think they have ownership or something, Katie says. They always say we're trying to profit, but we do this work to bring stories to a wider audience. That is our job. Tony says, right. And Katie says, well, Molly is something else. And I missed a small part of this, it looks like, but she posted it already. And Katie goes, whatever. You know, this isn't a competition. I'm trying to do right by Letitia. I'm writing her story, a story she wants to tell. Tony says, well, we've had it for a couple of hours. Wasn't going to post it at all, but members are trying to post it and are posting it in the comments. We can't keep up with deleting it. My cat's meowing so loud. Katie says, you could have waited, literally. Tony says, I didn't post it and it's not my group. Katie says, I can't talk. I need to finish. Then Katie says, can we talk about how she's super racist toward her mother-in-law, meaning Dre? Tony says, yeah, it's sick. Katie says, I just posted info about Dre and Vaughn's marriage records in the group. So if someone could approve that, would be amazing. Quick question. Is Angela Marie in the group? Tony says, Mary has the posts off so we can clean up, but I'll post it soon. No idea who that is. Katie says, she's a friend of Vaughn's. Tony, since you are an admin, I was wondering, could I pick your brain for a second? I'm piecing together videos, which definitely helps me see what happened. Okay. Vaughn reunited with his family. Then they planned to go to Georgia. Vaughn was super excited. Vaughn was so excited to go. She was very unexcited, but you would tell she was playing along. Yes. Before they could even take the trip, she starts getting super annoyed. He starts to withdraw more and more. He was going to leave her, and she knew it. She didn't want him to take that trip. Tony says, yep, she's the cause of all of this. She couldn't control him if he was back with his family. She couldn't control him if he was back with his family. Seeing this in the videos is shocking. It's all right there. Oh my God, I see Dre's response. And mind you, this is like July 8th, I think we're on right now. So she first reported about the story, I think, on the 3rd or the 4th or something of July. And by like the 20th, she was already all about Team Dre. Just want to point that out. Yeah, see what I mean by people saying that without knowing it at all? Katie says, I knew the minute Dre sent that message, there were strings attached. Yep. Okay, I think I'm going to do a live stream on this. I have condensed some video to be able to share while I talk about the topic. And she shares a link to her video or whatever. Oh, that was that one. I know, I hear you, Kat. And you see a little bit more of it down there. Go to the next one. Wait, is that right? Yeah, okay. Then she says, can you share that in the group? You can, but I'm out right now, so I don't know if they will approve it. Our post still off? Yes, I'm out getting stuff for my kid's birthday party. The one over the group is the admin named Mary. I had one of her admins on me. She's talking about one of Dre's admins. This is about Dre McRae and her husband, Bob McRae. I had one of her husbands on. I'll have to watch. I'm so behind today. My kid's birthday party is tomorrow, so I've been slammed today. I just want to say this July 9th. July 9th, she says, my kid's birthday party is tomorrow, okay? Wait, I think I went ahead. Yep. No problem. Still on July 9th. I hope your party goes well today. It was literally like the one right before. How do you fuck that up? But whatever. Then now we're on the 13th. Tony, I really need help with the admins. This is urgent and not for me to put out any info. I need the video of Dre talking about Bella's alleged S thoughts. This is needed for the dad who has an attorney. They are hoping to file an emergency custody filing today, but need videos. I haven't seen the video, Tony says. Okay, I know it was a supportive video. It was brought up. Okay, whatever. I don't care about that. We're just going to jump right down to it. Yeah, okay, she's just talking about how she's sending shit over to the attorney. But now here's the video. And here's where the arguments start, okay? And here's also where I'm going to have to wear glasses, I think. Because I can't. Oh, actually, so this, I can't do this. Okay. So, Tony says to Katie, Katie, I'm coming to you and asking for you to please stop with the drama. That shouldn't be the focus here. As long as you fire back, it's going to continue. Please delete that post and just stop. Be the bigger person. Show people that they are wrong about you and ignore it, please. And Katie says, nope, I'm done with Molly's bullshit. You come to me to stop the drama? Why haven't you called Molly out? She started the shit, not me. Tony says, I haven't called anyone out. I have messaged you both asking for it to stop. Well, she turned the family against me. I haven't done shit to them. Molly is a maniac, and I'm not going to sit here and let her turn everyone against me when I've done nothing. You know, for over a week, she sat on her channel and she said the family hates me. You know how much harassment I've received? The death threats? Letitia is getting paid off by Molly. I won't pay Letitia for access. Molly knows they need money and throws it and then says I'm doing shit I'm not doing. I haven't harassing Letitia. Or I wasn't harassing Letitia. I really should wear my glasses, but I'm not going to. But you are. You're contributing to let it happen, or you're continuing to let it happen. We had so many messages in the very beginning about how you will turn this into drama. You are your own person and have control over what you do. You are proving all of these people right. I haven't spoken to her in a week. No, Molly is drama. I am responding to her bullshit. Talk to Molly. How am I harassing Letitia when I'm not talking to her? You realize I'm not just helping Vaughn. Tony says, because you keep on and she's asked you to stop and leave them alone. She never asked me to stop, never. She even said it on your live and you deleted it and said it was a troll. Katie says, she asked me tonight for the first time ever. And I'm not reading that screenshot. Okay. Then Katie says, funny, she hung up on and yelled at me. When I brought up Molly, she got so mad, she defended Molly. Molly is the one screaming on her lives about me every night. Tony says, well, if I was in her position, I would do the same. Y'all are causing more stress on this woman. Katie says, she's not yelling at Molly. Trust me, Molly has paid her so much money. Tony says, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Please just stop. Katie says, prove to me she has. You are coming at me so hard. Tony says, I'm not proving anything to anybody. I'm asking you to have a heart, be the bigger person, and just stop. Katie says, I didn't start this. I had no problem with Molly. For 2 weeks, she has bullied me relentlessly. She's fucked with Wynette. She's fucked with Letitia about me. I know it because Wynette told me. Tony says, I'm not in any way coming at you hard. I'm actually doing my very best to be kind. To me? To be kind and professional. Katie says, how am I supposed to stop when every night Molly goes off and lies about what I'm doing? Why has she decided who can speak about the story? Tony says, don't give her attention. She can't, but the family has asked you to stop, and you should respect that. Katie says, but she tells her audience every day the family hates me. Stop what? Stop talking about it. Stop the drama. Talking about what? Talking about what? Because Molly is saying that I can't talk about the story, which for days my coverage has been about the kids, not Vaughn. This is a public story. Letitia is one family. I've been working with, I think she was using talk to text because I think it was supposed to come out OBA. I have been talking. Where'd it go? Because I've been working with Oba's best friend, for a week on their court case. That's what I have been doing. Tony says. Damn it. All right, just down there. Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to go back and forth with you and get out of character. The family asked you to stop. It's your decision whether you do or not. You're flushing your platform down the toilet, proving all of these people right. Have a good night. Katie says, stop what? You aren't explaining to me what. Tony, if you are going to ask me to stop doing something, stop what? I'm not going to stop reporting. I'm not removing the post. It's my platform. I'm not in your group either. If Molly stops, keeps my name out of her mouth, and stops interfering in my job, I'm happy to never breathe her name again. Like, holy shit, Scarlett O'Hara. Oh my God. I'm done. You're not going to listen. Do what you want. Have a good night. Katie says, I'm listening, but you aren't telling me. Tony says, no, you're not. Katie says, I said I'll stop the drama when Molly stops lying about me. Tony says, you just said you're not going to stop. You're not going to remove the post. It's your platform, so go make a fool out of yourself. Katie says, so how has Molly behaved? Have you watched her lives where she's berating me or cursing people out? Why didn't you ask her to stop a week ago? I've been getting death threats because of her. Tony says, I'm not talking about Molly. I can't control Molly, and neither can you. You can control how you respond. I promise if you stop this nonsense and act unbothered, you would do so much better. Katie says, but Molly can act this way? Tony says, another admin is talking to Molly while I talk to you. Katie says, while all your admins praise her, I'm getting death threats because of her. Do you understand that? Tony says, what does it matter how Molly acts, though? That doesn't fall back on you. Your actions do. Katie says, because she's lying to his family about me over and over and over. Tony says, Katie, I'm sure you get death threats a lot doing what you do. It's a part of the job. But bottom line is you are only in control of how Katie acts and what Katie does. I'm just trying to help you. Katie says, I understand that. But I've been beaten down by her for over a week. I took the high road the whole time. I finally responded last night. Tony says, let people say what they want about you. Don't give them a second of your time. Katie says, it matters. When every time I report, Molly tells people, Katie, stay in your lane. Tony says, I know you did, and you need to continue that high road. Don't watch her. Don't give her a view. What she thinks of you is irrelevant. Katie says, I'm told I can't talk about this story. Why? Molly told his family that I'm dangerous. She's convinced them I'm a bad person. I've donated my time, money, and resources. Tony says, you're not understanding. It's not just Molly. All of our inboxes have been blowing up about you. And here is where Katie gets turned shit. Here's where the vindictiveness comes through. Here's where she decides to make shit up on the fly and try to drag down anyone and everyone who's been involved in this slight against her, much like she's been doing with that judge. Blowing up about you. Because of Molly. I haven't done shit. I wasn't harassing the family. Tony says, we deleted so many people from our groups talking about you. Katie says, because Molly said I was harassing them and I wasn't. Tony says, no, it's not because of Molly. It's been happening since the very beginning. And here, Katie, you know how many people hate Molly? My inboxes are flooded because of Molly. She's been arrested multiple times for stories. My inbox is flooded about your page putting out misinformation. My inbox is flooded by people thinking Letitia is a scammer. I'm not in your group. My page is flooded with people leaving your group because of the page supporting Molly so much, when so many people know who she is. Tony says, okay, I'm seriously done. I had to put my kids to bed. Have a good night. Katie goes on saying, do you see this? You get to tell me what to do, but if I point out to you that you all are contributing to it and Molly is the problem, but okay. If we have a dialogue, it can't be you do this. Like, it has to be everyone. But what Molly has done to me and to this situation is atrocious. People are in my inbox all day about her, the group, or thinking Letitia is a scammer. It's nonstop. The only people worth fighting for at this point are the kids. Oba won't talk to anyone, which is good. Like, I want justice for Vaughn, but I don't know what that even means anymore. Tony says, thing is, we don't give two shits what people think of us. We're not doing this for anyone but Vaughn and Letitia. Yeah, Pages and a lot of people have talked about us, but we're grown women and know how to take the high road instead of acting like a damn child. And I'm not telling you what to do. I was asking for you to be the bigger person and stop acting like a high school drama queen. I'm asking you to have some respect for this family. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and worry about Katie. I'm seriously done talking about it. You do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, the way you act falls back on you, not me or anyone else. Katie says, yeah, I get that. I'm not sure she does, though. But what about Molly? Why has the group allowed her lives and abusive videos, which degrade and demean me, to be there? How does that help Vaughn? What are we doing to stop Molly? Because if Molly stops, then all of this stops. I'll put a stop to all the shit I'm about to do to you. She got in a fight with Sherelle. One thing, so why not, told me that Letitia threatened to unalive her. I'm not lying about that. Oh no, for unalive her, for speaking about visiting Vaughn. I'm not lying about that. So why not and Letitia hate each other? That happened last week. I've been in the middle of this, what she goes on to say. So there's example one. Hi, Kat. Hi, Mr. Jinx. Hi. Okay, I see you. Oh, wait, 1 second. I just have to go open a door and then the cat will be happy and then I can remove that. All right. 1 second. Here. Okay. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to go to chat here real quick. That was example one. Now, like I said, there's been a lot of examples that I could have shown. And one of the longest examples would be the Steve McRae situation. However, that's a series. That's not just a small clip in a small live stream. That's a whole long series. So I'm not going to cover that because that's a whole long series. But I'm going to, when I'm done, I'm going to put a couple links in the description for anyone who wants to go and check that out. There's one channel that has some pretty awesome playlists that cover a lot of this shit. In fact, I'm going to be visiting one of them for my last example. What do I have on my shirt? Hell, I think it was makeup. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna for my last example, I'm gonna be visiting a couple of videos there, or one video, just one video. So there's that. Now, you see. All right, I don't see a tag or anything. All right, so I'm gonna head on over to the next example I have pulled up. All right, so this has to do with a church that Katie used to go to. Now, I'm not going to, there's two long posts here. I'm going to read for most of one, but I'm only going to read a small part of the second one. And then I'm going to show you where the vengeance came out. Back in 2015, Katie and her husband joined a local church. They found God again or whatever. And this is what Katie had to say about that. Last night, we had our first home church evening. It was absolutely wonderful. I do believe we are guided to people we need by God, and I think there's an excellent relationship that can be forward with this family. My true test is always how Vaughn will react when we get there. He immediately made himself at home, found the toys, and was comfortable the whole night. Our goal in joining the small group was to help foster friendship and have others help us grow in our faith. We also want to find community for our family and people we can lean on and help when times are tough. It can be very lonely raising a chronically ill child, and Todd and I have been seeking companionship and friendship. We've struggled a lot since moving to Hanover. It's difficult in Minnesota. I've been a resident here nearly my whole life, and I still find it odd how we as Minnesotans manage friendship, which this is a bunch of bullshit, really. And even if this is true, like it's reserved for just one state. I mean, come on. Like it's, I don't know. That's just like such a pretentious thing to say, I think. We find people, stick to them. And many of us are resistant to meeting new people and adding people to our network. Since I graduated college in 2001, nearly 15 years ago, I have had a hard time finding a solid network of people we can rely on. Todd and I have discussed in length how with the complexity of Vaughn's diseases and the stress we have daily, we truly need to find people we can rally and bring into our lives. We also want to give and help others. We truly love to host people here and enjoy spending time with others. We love helping people in times of need, and this has been a large missing piece in our lives. We have had a hard time finding our place in this world. We know that we were guided to Hanover, and we also know we were called to Westbridge. And I truly think the friends and family we have prayed for, we have found. I continue to remain optimistic that we will finally find what we seek. We are grateful to all of you that have yada yada. Okay. Wait a minute. We need this very okay. We are grateful to all of you that have been there with us on this journey and hope you can celebrate with us as we continue to find fellowship. We need this very badly for Vaughn. We need this for our well-being. We are blessed to be where we are, and the support we have received over the past year has been tremendous. Okay? She's talking about the support she's received in this new group of friends. Okay? Thank you for all of you that continue to follow our journey, share with us. Okay, yada, yada. Okay. She shared one other post right around this time about the church, and it's another positive post. This post was mostly about their decision to homeschool their son, but it's this last part here at the bottom I want to just point out real quick. He will never be typical, but we want him to thrive. Okay, jeez, I fucking hate reading that shit. We know that homeschooling is the way to go. We want to thank all of our friends at Westbridge Church that gave us input and suggestions on how to find curriculum. And we look forward to fostering relationships with other families on the same path as we are. Thank you again for continuing to keep Fawn and our family in your thoughts and prayers. Okay, that was 2015. Then she had this to say. This was... this was, when was this? This was right around the release of something. All right, either way, it was when the Hillsong drama came out. But she says, watching Hillsong documentary takes me back to when I got roped into NAR through a church that really modeled itself off Beth Bell and Hillsong. This is my playlist of songs I listened to for hours. I used to put this music on and sing loudly along while cooking. I escaped my life and felt intoxicated by God, the exact way this music is supposed to make you feel. I learned after 3 years with that the prosperity, the riches, the faith, and all of it is not honest. We tithed hundreds of dollars weekly. We volunteered and even donated extra to build a church. We donated to every charity event they held. Our final straw was needing support for our family related to the needs of our son, and no one helping us. We dedicated our lives, and they in turn couldn't help. Sharing our frustrations was met by the pastor saying, if you don't like it here, you can leave. We debated for months if we would leave. All of our friends were there, and we knew leaving that we would lose all of them. Then came this Sunday where our pastor said that God would bless us more and give us more if we gave him more money. We got a flyer asking us to pledge parts of our 401k so he could build a church. Wait a minute. Didn't she just say that they already helped build a church? I just realized that. But, volunteer and even donated extra to build a church. Okay. All right. Anyway. So he could build a church, which I also have. I mean, according to Katie, they cashed in their 401ks to build their dream McMansion there. So, I mean, why would the attorney, or why would the pastor ask her for something that didn't exist? That's weird. We watched in horror, knowing some of our friends at church were using the food shelf to tithe while the pastor and his family purchased a large home and frequently traveled. I knew it wasn't right. We left and lost all of our friends. I get the lure of a church like Shekinah. Oh, this must have been after she found Shekinah, my bad. We never worshipped our pastor, but we definitely got into the music during worship. The music is hypnotic in mine. It was the music that lured me in. I thought it was the sense of community that lured you in. No, it's the music. Okay. So I'm not Christian. I'm not anti-Christian. I'm anti-churches that prey on people in their most vulnerable moments, promise them everything as long as you give, only to find out it was all a lie. You know, if you're given to charity with the expectation of getting something back in return, then you're not really being charitable. You're not. You're looking at it as a quid pro quo kind of thing. It's a transaction. It's not charity. So for you to then demand and expect charity in return when you yourself, you couldn't be bothered to give charity because you had expectations to it, well, that would make you a hypocrite. So yeah, there's that. She got mad at the church. And now, mind you, she got mad at this church back in like 2000. I don't know. She was there. Weren't they there a couple of years, like 2017 or something like that? And here she was writing about it like at least a good 5 years later. She held a grudge against this church. And then one more thing I want to bring up as an example. This, I have to go to the there we go. I'm just waiting for the page to load. I thought it had its own file. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So the video I'm going to be playing is from the channel Sunshinery. Okay, part 1. There we go. So it's from Sunshine, the channel. I don't know if the channel's still producing content or not, but this was a really good breakdown and explanation, and complete with screenshots and video clips and everything that I could find that explained it all and really put into a very clear picture Katie's pattern. Okay, so now they uploaded this video. This was from May 23rd, 2021. So for those of you who don't remember what happened with Katie and Preacher Boys, she pulled him up on one of her live streams one night. Then Preacher Boy got all these. I'm assuming he did get messages, warning him about Katie, but he then did his own research and he realized, my bad, I don't want to be a part of this. And boy, was Katie mad. Yep. So without further ado, in the video clips in this are actually of a good volume, but the commentary is really low, so it's gonna be hard to hear. I might even just skip over it. I don't know, but okay here.
I have heard that you are phenomenal, and I would love to do something. Can we do?
KJ noticed someone in her
Okay,
chat.
so Katie's doing an Instagram live, and she noticed Preacher Boys come into her chat. So here she goes.
Preacher Boys! Oh my God, Preacher Boy! Can we do a collab? Because I have heard that you are phenomenal, and I would love to do something with you. All of my subscribers have told me over and over and over again how amazing you are.
Preacher Boys Eric
So
decided to join the live with
she says, Preacher Boys Eric decided to join the live with Katie, and here is a few short clips.
KJ, and here's a few short clips.
And I'll be honest, like, it's scary a little bit for me to talk to men from the IFB, because some of the guys that have left, even though they've left the cult, they still have incredibly misogynistic views of women.
Yeah.
And they can be incredibly abusive when you speak to them. And it's like, I get freaked out when I get up. Like, I'm so glad you're nice. I mean, I know that not all the guys are terrible, but it's so scary because
I don't understand. Why is it scary? She's talking to people over the internet from a long distance away. So what if they're assholes? You get scared every time a dude's an asshole to you from the other side of the world or something? Like, just hit the off button and the fear goes away. I just don't understand. I get like, oh, they're really, it was unsettling or whatever. It was, it was difficult to deal with. It was, hard to hear or whatever, but scared. I'm just so afraid. Like, I don't get that. I just don't.
Breeds misogyny.
Yeah. So
it's incredible, the database that you've like been able to put together. It's incredible, like what you're trying to do, like almost in a way, like writing whatever wrongs in a way. I feel like a lot of times people have a little bit of guilt when they realize they've been part of something like this.
Yeah.
But you don't really, I don't know. It's weird. You shouldn't have to feel guilty. You didn't have a choice.
yeah, but it's hard not to.
So then,
He chatted about different religions and the different beliefs in them. He talked about his experience, and it ended with
okay, so at the end of it, Katie had this to say.
KJ saying,
So fun. I love him. I forgot to ask him what's his name again? I didn't even get.
She didn't even get the dude's name. She just knows. I don't know if she thought his name was Preacher Boy, and then it dawned on her, oh shit, maybe he's got a different name and just didn't bother. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
His name. That was amazing.
So then after that, after the live, Katie, of course, went to Twitter. Here's what she had to say. I'm not going to be reading all of these comments, though.
KJ, of course. I want to thank
Yeah, I'm not going to. So Katie put a tweet or something up, and people came underneath and they were like, oh, God, he shouldn't trust her. She's, she's done this. Whatever. She, consequences of her actions over the past few years. We're gonna jump a little bit ahead. And she says, also, I'm covering a cult, the abuse in the cult. The Duggish just happen to be the most famous members of the cult. If you're okay with men R-ing women, abusing children, covering up crimes, then don't watch. I'm going to do my best to expose this cult for what it is. I think that was in response to the people commenting or whatever. Here are some replies under this tweet. Okay, we're going to jump to Preacher Boy. So this says, those replies came the next day after Eric put out a statement. We are not sure if anyone contacted Eric or if he just decided to look into KJ and do his own research on the different things she has said and things she does to help and teach people about the IBLP. But the next day, he puts out a tweet with a statement regarding the live. Here it is. Okay, and this says, really? That's as big as it's going? Okay, a little bit better. All right. This says, regarding the Without a Crystal Ball live video I joined yesterday, I have done research since I appeared. KJ's methods historically had been incredibly problematic, and I'm disappointed in myself for not doing what I always do, which is research before I do share a platform with anyone. I didn't expect to be called on to join her for the live and didn't think anything of it. I just wanted to encourage who I thought was a fellow advocate. I have never communicated before with her. It makes me sick to my stomach to think I misread the situation or sent the wrong message to anyone. Please know I'm extremely new to her content and am not a fan of the tactics I've since discovered she utilizes. I will not be with her. I will not be hosting her on my show. My credibility and the credibility of those I partner with is important to me. So now, and he explains it later on that he made a public statement because he made a public appearance. Since his live and his, I guess, interaction with her was so public, he felt the need to publicly denounce it, basically.
The ball live yesterday. I have done before. Sick to message discover Preacher Boy.
Preacher Boys also posted that on Instagram too, where Katie replied saying, over here on the right here, it says, I am not problematic. You are listening to haters. Underneath it says, he responded to your DM and you blocked him. So why lie? Why did you go live and accuse him of awful things?
Problematic.
Okay.
After leaving this.
And Preacher Boy even said underneath here, she blocked me shortly after leaving this comment. Then Katie put out a response to this on Instagram Live, and here are a few clips.
A response to this on IG Live. Here are a few clips.
You do this to me, you haters, because you want other creators to get the leads. You don't want me to have any success. And so you're going to harass these smaller creators who he doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve to be harassed and bullied into believing I'm a shitty person because you don't like me. This is what you've been doing for 2 years, and it's insane.
Okay,
it's
I'm gonna skip over
insanity.
this because
And
she mostly she blames like the haters, she says, or whatever. It's the ending here where she starts going after Preacher Boy.
talk to them before you make a very public statement, like slandering someone.
Now that she is done making up assumptions.
And if you would have just come to me, it wouldn't have had to be like this. It's so unfortunate. You're doing a good job. You're doing good work. Keep doing that. Keep doing the work that you're doing. And don't burn bridges with people based on hearsay and false statements of others. Come to the source and talk to them before you make a very public statement, like slandering someone.
Now that she's done making up assumptions.
The video here says, now that she is done making up assumptions, here she is lying about what was said in the live that night. And this is why why I think Sunshinery chose the clips in the very beginning of them on stream together to show you what was actually said. And now this is Katie's claim on what was said.
Here she is lying about what was said in the live that night.
man on my platform that might have abused his wife or hurt his sister or participated in the abuse of women and children. And I said that to him because the men in this cult are dangerous. And it's hard to know which ones are going to be real and honest or who are doing something to clear their name. When he was on my live, I asked him why he was so compelled to do this. I said, are you compelled to do this because you participated in this cult and did bad things? Are you trying to almost right a wrong? And he said, yes, that he was bringing people into this cult, that he was part of the problematic beliefs, that he contributed to that, and that he wants to expose that. But the problem is when people do that, sometimes they don't do the work they need on themselves to realize that they still are not treating women well, because this cult doesn't value or respect women. And when you've been learned your whole life not to value or respect women, you're not going to value or respect someone who's a peer when you find out something about them that you don't like.
None of that was mentioned. In this last clip, KJ says he was clear, he saw research. Actually, all it said was again, I have done research since I appeared.
So Katie is saying that that Preacher Boy said that he saw research. She's making it sound like people just sent him shit, which people may have actually sent him shit. I don't know, but that's not what he said. He said, I have done research since I appeared. KJ's methods historically have been incredibly problematic, and I'm disappointed in myself for not doing what I always do, which is research before I do share a platform with anyone. Please know I am extremely new to her content, and I'm not a fan of the tactics I've since discovered she utilizes. I will not be hosting her on my show.
KJ's method in my do, her convert, she
It was clear in his statement that he saw research about me that literally isn't true or accurate, and he didn't speak to me about it. And he was probably directed to sources that are also false. And again, if you're going to have a career in this world, if you're going to listen to trolls instead of actually speaking to the people that you've spoken to and giving them the benefit of the doubt, you're not going to build relationships that are lasting and effective. You're going to
Kind of like how you listened to Toddy Westbrook's business partner, as he used you to feed you a bunch of bullshit and you ran with it. And I wonder if maybe that's why people don't trust her.
be easily manipulated by the trolls.
after KJ's
Then after KJ's Instagram Live, Preacher Boys put out another tweet regarding everything.
IG Live, Preacher Boys put out another tweet. This
He
statement
said, this statement is inaccurate. I've had 3 to 4 missed messages. The previews were apologies. Were apologies for her, quote, haters coming after me. When I opened the message, she had unsent those and instead called me a misogynist. I responded politely. She sent a few more messages, then blocked me.
is inaccurate. Where apology had unsent those, she sent a few more messages, then blocked me.
I'm not going to give him grace in the respect that he made a public statement to humiliate me and he won't respond to me. I'm not going to give him grace in the respect that he made a public statement to humiliate me and he won't respond to me.
I will not post much.
All right, so here, this is really small. I might need my glasses. I can't read that. All right. The top part, I can't read it. It's covered in blurry.
More regarding this situation, but felt the need to respond.
Oh, she's reading it. I'm going to turn her up for a second.
And make it known that I did not avoid her messages to me as she claimed. KJ, what you have done proves to me that even
Okay,
today,
so what Katie did
still-
end up sending him, and what she did not unsend, says, Katie said to him, what you have done proves to me that even today you still lack respect for women. You could have spoken to me, but instead chose to publicly humiliate me. Thanks for that. Preacher Boy says, Katie, respectfully, this has nothing to do with you being a woman. I have worked alongside many incredible women over the course of my show, and I was not out to humiliate you. I saw things that were troubling and chose to distance myself. I made a public appearance and felt the need to address the public appearance in a public setting. That is all. Some of my concerns are validated in that you removed your first few kind messages and then chose to send a more antagonistic message when you didn't get a prompt response. I take full responsibility for joining a live without doing more research. That was on me. I've said my piece.
Lack respect for women. You could have spoken to me, but instead chose to punch your boy of my fortune and felt the need so I can, and then chose to say, I take full responsibility was on me. I have said my piece. KJ was clearly
Katie was clearly not too happy that Eric had put out multiple statements and then decided to tweet some things.
that Eric had put out multiple statements and then decided to have left
So
the IBLP.
Katie wrote, the men that have left the IBLP, some of them terrify me. I want to hear their stories, but so many of them are still misogynistic. I'm also fearful of giving a platform to somebody that may have abused, arred, or harmed a woman or child. This cult is filled with dangerous men. Can't I hear you?
So many of them of giving plat or harmed a woman or child.
Okay, Kat. Here's a reply. And okay, I don't really care to. I'm not going to read anybody else's replies. Yeah.
Her Instagram live yesterday may be a beepist. All because.
Oh, actually, this does sum it up pretty well. She's actually trying to insinuate a genuine man she had on her Instagram live yesterday may be an R word because he did some research on her problematic behavior and decided against having her on his show. This is the spiteful, vindictive Katie. This is the okay. All because she feels slighted.
Her problematic behavior.
Now, there's been other examples of this too, but
on his show, this is the spiteful, vindictive Katie, all because she feels
like rules, and you turn the Bible into a self-help group.
No, that's not relevant. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Now, there are other examples that I could provide. There's why is it do that? I don't want the full picture. There's how she turned on the documentary for Shining Happy People because they wouldn't talk to her, and she tried to then label everyone involved as some sort of abuser and tried to connect it to Harvey Weinstein. She tried to connect the producers of Shining Happy People to Harvey Weinstein and tried to get Harvey Weinstein, at least give the impression that Harvey Weinstein had a hand in the making of that, so therefore must be tainted, therefore must go and be canceled. Yay, Katie wins again. There's been, I don't even know how many examples, but this is just what I found sitting right there. And the longest example, though, is Steve McRae, which we'll put link to in the description. But I'm going to put a link to the channel that I got this from because this channel has a few playlists, and the playlists are extensive and they're kind of categorized. So if anyone wants to know shit from the past, they're not all Katie videos. They're not. They're creator videos, but the creator videos contain Katie content, so you can see and hear for yourself. But yeah, so there's that. I'm going to go back to chat here for a second, and then I'm going to wrap this up because it's a little late. Hi, Foxy. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Tax Max Backs Thunderclap. Hi, Rita? No, Ray. Ro. Hi, Rojo. Sorry. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Donna. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is her pattern. And the federal judge is just the latest in her pattern because everything is about her, in my opinion. And other people's stories, other people's drama events in their lives, well, they eventually end up being all about Katie. Or she makes sure that they are anyways. And it's not helping victims. It's not advocating. That's not even giving victims a voice. That's exploiting victims and victimizing them even further for your own gain. It's being predatory, in my opinion. That's purposely choosing a job that supplies a never-ending stream of people for you to prey from and feed off of. But that's kind of what narcissists do, isn't it? In my opinion, whatever. I think in medical opinion too, but that's neither here nor there. Sunshinery is part of the Wolf News Network show we do every Friday. She brings great stuff. I've heard of her before, and I know I've seen a few of her videos and shit. There's a couple of videos she actually did involving Katie, anyways, that I really like. She did a good job at documenting shit and putting them together. I enjoyed her format. So, but yeah, that's it. Okay. I feel like the internet's going to be so boring now tomorrow. Like, there's no Karen retrial going on, although the P. Diddy thing's still going on, isn't it? But I feel like the one thing that lured me into YouTube every day is over. I don't know. I gotta something. But I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time checking out that new channel there I mentioned. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for being here, everyone. Have a good night. I'm gonna try and stream or something tomorrow. I don't know. I have the day off, but I have a lot of shit to do, and I have some legal work to draft up. So yeah, there's that. But that's for another day. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Where's my outro? Bye.